Right. Happy 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, everybody. Welcome to today's Step It Up Challenge informational webinar hosted by Fitbit. My name is Rick Westfall. I'm the Director of Education here at Health Action Council. And today we're joined by Bryce Rausch, National Sales Director for Fitbit. We've had a great relationship with Bryce and Fitbit over the last several years. And today he's going to go over the rules of the challenge, how to use the Fitbit app, and answer any questions you may have about all things Step It Up Challenge. Before I turn things over to him, though, I want to remind you that if you have any questions, please use the chat box located on the right-hand side of your screen. I'll be monitoring that chat box, and I'll pause at the end of Bryce's presentation to respond to your questions. If for any reason the chat box is not working or you run into any technical issues, you can always email me at rwestfall@healthactioncouncil.org. I'm recording this webinar, and we'll put it in the Member Center of our website by the end of the day tomorrow. If you need any help accessing the Member Center, again, just reach out to me, rwestfall@healthactioncouncil.org, and I'll get you taken care of. And with that, Bryce, the floor is all yours. Please teach us everything about the Step It Up Challenge.
All right. Thank you very much, Rick. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm going to be walking you guys through some of the details for the Summer Health Action Council Challenge. All right. And for those that may be unaware, we'll start with just a little bit of background around Fitbit. Who is Fitbit? Why am I on this webinar? What's going on with this challenge? Fitbit, we've been around for 12, 13 years, somewhere around there. And our mission from day one was to try to make everyone in the world healthier. And hopefully we'll make some of you and some of your colleagues healthier by participating in this challenge. A few kind of stats around Fitbit is over the years, we've sold over 116 million Fitbit devices. We have a wide range of devices from those that kind of clip onto your clothes, kind of like an electronic pedometer, all the way to very sophisticated smartwatches that are out there. One thing we're really proud of is just the amount of people that continue to wear their Fitbit every single day. You know, they use it for their sleep tracking, they use it for their exercise tracking, they use the Fitbit application to maybe monitor their food or their stress. And almost 30 million individual users are using their Fitbit every single day, each day, which is pretty amazing and humbling. Have over 1 million Fitbit Premium subscribers. That's our membership service. And spoiler alert, stick with us to the end and you might learn a little bit more about maybe a special offer about Premium. I don't know. You'll have to wait till the end though. And I specifically represent our enterprise offering. So a lot of people are familiar with Fitbit in working with retailers, buying them as a consumer. But we also have a pretty sophisticated enterprise business unit within Fitbit that serves a number of different audiences, from health plans, clinicians, to employers. In fact, we have over 1,600 clients working with us and using our employer tools. We work with over 100 different health plans and lots of partners as well. So if you've worked with us in the past, it's great to see you again. And now let's get into the challenge. All right. So this is actually going to be the second challenge that we've done in 2021. We did a challenge right after the annual Health Action Council conference. And this will kick off the summer challenge. There's a few dates to keep in mind, and then I'm also going to walk you through some best practices to keep in mind to give you the best chance to win and have as good of an experience as you possibly can from participating in this challenge. All right, so the key date to communicate to your teams and colleagues is June 13th to 26th. Those are the dates of the actual challenge. But before we get there, June 4th is the conclusion of team registration. So if you're on this webinar, you've probably registered your team already. But if not, go to the Health Action Council website, and that's where you'll be able to see there's a link there within the challenges section, or I think it's actually the wellness section, that would allow you to register your team. You got to register your team first. And that's like, hey, I'm part of this organization. This is what we want our team name to be. And the reason why you got to do that first is because when you tell us that you want to register, that then tells us to go and create your team So then as you and your colleagues are starting to join the platform to participate in the challenge, your team shows up. Makes sense, right? If you haven't registered, how are we going to know to make sure that you're in the dropdown? All right. Then next deadline to keep in mind is June 11th. That is the deadline for you and all of your colleagues to actually join the program. And I'll show you how you can do that here on our next slide. But when you're talking to your colleagues saying, oh, you really want to do this, this challenge with us, we're going to kick some major butt and really get into that beach body type of situation for the summer, then make sure to join by June 11th or you're out. Actually, you're not out. You could actually join during the challenge, but we want everybody to be on by June 11th. So, we just kind of see what we're working with here. And then it's a 2-week challenge. The way that the challenge is designed, it is a team-based step challenge. Now you might be asking, all right, well, all we need is a whole bunch of people on our team, and then we'll easily have the most steps, so we'll win. Well, no, we actually use a daily step average by team to calculate your score for each day of the challenge. What does this mean? So basically means if I have 5 people and we all walked 10,000 steps, well, they're going to take that 10,000 times 5 divided by 5, and that's our team total. If you have a team of 50, same type of math. So it's going to take the average, which means it's an even playing field for all teams, big and small. I have some best practices coming up around that, but just so you know, it's not just the biggest team means you're for sure going to win. So even if you only have like a couple people in your organization that wants to be on a team with you, you can still participate and have a good time and compete to hopefully win. It will be going by quickly. It's 2 weeks. And so you want to make sure that you're paying attention, you're syncing your device over the course of those 2 weeks. But you're not limited to just those 2 weeks. We will also be having some pop-up challenges throughout the challenge as well. That will be fun as well. What's a pop-up challenge? It's a challenge that just pops up, just like it says, just like it sounds like. All right, so make sure you get your team registered, invite your colleagues, and start to get moving. And you're doing this for a number of reasons. I mean, one, obviously, it would be great if just by paying attention to the challenge, we're making healthier decisions. We're maybe a little bit more active than we otherwise would have. We know when we move together, we move much further. It's a great way to kind of build kind of that culture in your organization. Those are all of those, we'll call them intrinsic motivators for participating in this challenge. But the Health Action Council has also tossed out some extrinsic motivators for you. So the winning team will get a healthy lunch for up to 50 people, which is a $500 value. And we'll be able to make a $500 donation to your local Ronald McDonald House or school garden, which is awesome. There are other prizes as well for some of the pop-up challenges, and there might be some Fitbit devices that you can win too. So how do you join? All right. Your HQ, your go-to resource really for a lot of information is going to be the Health Action Council website. However, once your team has been registered and you've had it confirmed by the hack team that it has been created, then they'll send you instructions, but you could also yourself go to fitbit.com/care/go, and then there is a special code that is unique for the Health Action Council Challenge, 669508. Bryce, how am I going to memorize that? You don't have to. We'll send it to you. There will be links. We'll make it easy for you. But this is where you would go to be able to join the program. So it's very simple, no extra hurdles to jump through to be able to get there. Hey, if you participated in the past, your team may already be in existence, in which case go and just make sure that we know that you want to participate in this challenge, but then you could start pointing your colleagues over to join your team even right now because it's already there. So very easy. You just input the 6-digit code, click apply. It'll walk you through a couple pages as far as onboarding, and then literally you're done. So you and your colleagues don't have to click another thing. When the challenge is ready to go, I think the day before the challenge goes live, you'll get a pop-up in your Fitbit app and you'll get an email as well saying the challenge has been announced. But you don't have to do anything. Let's say it's a couple days later and you forgot to check your email and you don't remember seeing it. Well, as long as you join that team and we know that you're participating, then you don't have to do anything. You could opt out if you were like, you know what, I have a bad feeling about this. I take too many steps, and I feel like people will be envious of how many steps I take. So I want to bounce. You could do that at any point. But otherwise, you'll automatically be joining the challenge, so you don't have to worry about anything else. We make it very easy for you. All right. We get this question all the time, and you might be thinking it right now. Hey, Bryce, I don't have a Fitbit. Can I still participate? Do I have to go buy a Fitbit? Like, what can I do? I want to do this, but I don't have one. Not a big deal. So, in fact, we have probably millions of users of the Fitbit app every single day, even today, that don't own a Fitbit. Now, I'm not going to say that your life wouldn't be at least marginally better if you had a Fitbit because of how seamless it is. And there's a lot of other cool features to check out within the Fitbit experience that really enhance everything. But what you can do is you could actually still participate in one of two ways, even without a Fitbit device. My preferred method would be mobile track, which essentially is going to be using your smartphone as your activity tracker. So fun fact, smartphones, when you are, let's just say you're watching like a YouTube video on your smartphone, and then you turn your phone sideways. Have you ever noticed how like all of a sudden your whole screen rotates? The way it's doing that is with an accelerometer. An accelerometer is the same sensor in a Fitbit device that we use to help us accurately track your steps. Because it's built into your phone, we can just kind of borrow that information, add that to your Fitbit account, and it will pull the steps right from your phone. There is a tutorial or a guide on the Health Action Council website that you can find that can walk you through how to get that added into your account. If maybe you don't have a smartphone, or maybe there's a lot of activities that you end up doing and you don't have your phone with you, so you know it's not going to track those steps, but you want to make sure you're getting credit there as well. We do enable the ability to manually log exercises as well, which will then be translated into steps. There's, again, a guide of how to do this on the Health Action Council website as well, but you could do it on the app where you'll log your exercises, or you can go online and you could even input the exact number of steps that you had each day. This is where that disclaimer comes in. Please, we're using the honor system here. Don't go for a 10-minute walk and be like, I'm pretty sure that was, 30 miles and 60,000 steps. Don't be that person. Remember, we're all just trying to have fun, try to be accurate. And that's actually why I say try to use mobile track rather than manually logging the exercises, because it's validated. It's like actual, it's based off of your actual physical activity. Rather than manually logging it. So, and it's a lot easier. Just use mobile track. Most of you probably have smartphones. So that's my recommendation, but you can do whatever you'd like. There's additional FAQs listed on the Health Action Council website to check out. And obviously you can ask your questions here today during this webinar as well, and we'll handle those at the end. All right, I'd like to give you a few helpful hints just to aid you in having as positive of an experience with us as possible. One disclaimer about all of you are probably not going to win this challenge. That 99% of the teams aren't going to win, but that doesn't mean that it should prevent you from pushing yourself and trying to get your own personal records, having an excellent time, encouraging your colleagues to participate, even though maybe you aren't going to win. So let me give you some tips. Tip number one, location. So remember, movement doesn't always register as steps. So if you're like sitting on your Peloton and you have your Fitbit device around your wrist and you are just like hustling for like an hour-long workout, I don't know if their workouts are an hour long, but let's just say that they are. And then you hop off, you probably got one step for hopping onto the bike and another step for hopping off. And that might be a downer, especially since you probably were really sweating up a storm on that exercise bike. So here's a tip. Just move your Fitbit to your shoe. Get credit for it. It's the same for, fortunately for me, I have 3 very small, unreasonable, sometimes humans that live with me. I'm pushing strollers all the time, don't always get credit for it. So I'll move my Fitbit to my pocket, or I'll put them around my shoelaces so I get credit for those steps. So that's tip number one. Just remember where your device is on your body, and when you're gliding rather than stepping, you may not get the credit. So see if you can move it to somewhere that is continuing to move. Tip number two, friends. So we actually have had documented that over the years, we do see people with around like 4 or 5 friends take more steps. It's a little bit more fun. It's engaging. There's like an extra level of accountability. I will say when we do these challenges though, it's like you have a whole bunch of friends and accountability takes it to a whole new level. But I would just say generally especially if you're new to Fitbit, as I said, there's 29 million daily users of Fitbits. So, find some in your life and invite them to, do challenges with you and walk with you and do that kind of stuff, because we do see that it makes an impact. People definitely have a better experience when they're moving together rather than moving by themselves. Now, specifically for our challenge, just some data to give you so you kind of know what you're getting into. We have seen team sizes of 2. We've seen teams with over 50. Here is the sweet spot, 5 to 15. Call it 10. That is really the target for a few reasons. One, groups that are too small. If you have a partner that then ended up like tweaking their ankle or something, and there's only 2 of you, like yikes, now everything's on you. Remember, it takes that average. That's a lot of pressure. Also, on the flip side, let's say like 2 marathon runners decide to be partners. You're kind of gaming the challenge, and that's not really what this is about. And so that's why having, at least 5 people on a team kind of helps even that out, so the moving maniacs, aren't just like cleaning house during the challenge. Like we wanted to some extent represent your whole organization, not just the people training for an Ironman competition. But too many also kind of ends up taking out the amount of rallying that you can do, like let's just say that you had 50 people and you guys are in 3rd place and you really want to try, well, you're going to have to try to coordinate getting all 50 people all to go above and beyond what they normally maybe would have done. That is a Herculean task. 15 or 10, that's much more manageable. Like at least you can make a dent on attacking that leaderboard towards the end of the challenge with smaller teams. Next. So right now, the average U.S. worker is taking about 50 to 100 steps per day. The CDC says, actually, like you should probably strive for about 10,000 per day. That's a little bit better, more representative of a healthy lifestyle. Well, with our challenge, and this is specifically looking at the Health Action Council, but it's really kind of accurate across our 1,600 clients. But just so you know what you're getting in for, you're probably going to see most people right around like 12,000 steps per day. You are definitely going to see people above that, which is the last data point. Fully expect there is going to be probably about a person per team that's going to average over 20,000 steps per day. That's like 10 miles a day. You're going to see people that might even log 30 or 40,000 step days, maybe more than that. So be ready for it. Again, that's where I'll go and flag again the team size to try to lessen, I guess, the impact of like a few hyper motivated individuals. But just kind of know that that's what you're in for. So, if you're like 1,000 step a day type of person, first of all, what are you doing? That's not nearly enough steps. But 2, like you're going to have to bring your A+ game to be able to keep up. So kind of keep this in mind, just so you have the right expectations going into the challenge. And help is here if you need it. So 2 resources to flag. One is Andrea from Health Action Council. I included her information here. And, just, let her know, this would be, hey, my team name is spelled wrong, or my team name's not showing up, or, hey, I didn't get the information that I had requested from Health Action Council. Or what can I get a list of the Ronald McDonald houses? Because we're winning this thing. Those are great questions for Andrea and the Health Action Council. If let's say you have a Fitbit device that you're using, or there seems to be like a bug with the program, you can reach out to Andrea because she may be aware of some issues, but otherwise you can reach out to me, or I would also recommend there's CW support at Fitbit.com, or there's a 1-800 number or an online support. You could get support through Twitter, through Facebook, so many ways to get support. But that's the best if you think that you have like a technical issue. If you have other general kind of Fitbit or Google questions, by all means, reach out to me. This is my email address. This is my cell phone. So don't be shy. Just, let me know how I can support or what questions that you might have. Happy to be a resource for you. Oh yeah. Remember that thing I teased at the top of the call that you need to stick around to the end to see? Well, this is what I was referring to. So what we are going to do for all participants of this challenge is when you go and join the program through that Care Go link with the 6-digit code referenced earlier, all of that is going to also allow us to enable a free access to Fitbit Premium. So this is otherwise a tool that costs $80 a year to be able to utilize. There is a ton of stuff that you can do with Fitbit Premium. It is very exciting. We have over 1 million users now on Fitbit Premium. So it has just been a rock star major hit for us. We have employers that are enabling it for their entire workforce. To just give you a little sense of like, what is Fitbit Premium? What are you going to have access to? So there are like sleep programs, like, meditations, listen to this. We hope you don't get to the end of it because that means you fell asleep before it got to the end of it types of programs. There's advanced analytics like around your sleep or general health. There's games. There's online workouts. So like, Beachbody or any of those workouts on demand. There's a whole resource center there as well that you can check out. There's tons of nutrition programs helping you kick the sugar, kick the carbs. And much, much more. And we're pretty excited about this. We actually just launched a partnership with Deepak Chopra, who did a full mindfulness, some content specifically for Fitbit and exclusively for Fitbit. And so when you go and join the program and start getting up there, check those out first. I think that's really big. And we know that employers are highly, highly interested in all things mindfulness right now for your employers and for yourself. So that's a great one to start with. And again, if you guys have any questions or you want to learn more about, hey, like I think we might be interested in a Fitbit program for our own employees, or, like I'd like to maybe buy 10 or 20 devices for my employees that want to participate in this, like, what's the pricing or how does this work? Reach out to me. I'm happy to help. And I think just about every challenge we end up working with a few new groups through the Health Action Council Challenge. So we've been happy to work with a lot of you. All right. Those are my slides. So Rick, do we have any questions?
Right. Bryce, thank you so much. We do not seem to have any questions from the audience, and I think I know why, because you are such a consummate professional and concise in your delivery, covering every angle that I could possibly imagine about all things Fitbit. So thank you again, Bryce, for being part of this today. For everybody else on the call, we'll post the recording of this webinar. We'll make the slides available on our member center. If for any of you that are not members of Health Action Council, again, you can reach out to Andrea, that Bryce shared her email address, or you can reach out directly to me at rwestfall@healthactioncouncil.org, and I will make all the connections you need and get you all the information you need to be successful. I took a break off of the last Step It Up Challenge because I was subject to the bike. I would ride 20 miles on my bike and get 2 steps for it, and I said, I'm not going to do this. But now I'm in full training for triathlon and marathon. I'm spending a lot of time running, so I'm looking forward to this next challenge, and I'm hoping the Health Action Council team can finish in the top 5 or top 10 this year. So we'll see you all out there. And that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bryce, as always, again, I just one last time would like to thank you. And that'll be the conclusion of our webinar. Have a great afternoon, everybody, and a great week.
Thanks, Eric. Bye, everyone.